Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Good morning. This is Dr. Erin teaching universal law and spiritual truth as a doctor of divinity, knowing that we heal through revealing and we are freed up and liberated when we know the truth. So today's title is How to Find Your Soulmate. I think it's been pounded into, for sure, most women's minds through programming, through movies and things like that. I think the younger generations, not so much. But in my generation, we had this whole delusion that someone was going to come into our life and save us, if you will, as a partner. I don't think everybody bought into that, but I sure the hell did. And it messed me up for quite some time. However, as I matured and grew up and began to desire a soulmate. It sounded so much deeper, and yet came to realize some truths around that has definitely freed me up. So the other day I was on a walk with a girlfriend, and like girls, we talk about guys, talk about life, talk about career, da-da-da-da. And she said, I really want to spend my life with somebody, and I'm really ready to call in my soulmate. And then she started kind of explaining, said, well, what would he be like? What do you think you would desire? What would that person look like? What would their life be like? Who would they be? And she started describing it. And she kind of like almost put the whole picture out in the future, like one day kind of a thing. And I kind of stopped. We stopped and I said, wait. You know that we don't manifest in the future. The universe doesn't. If you think it's going to be in the future, then it will be in the future, right? So we got to think like this week, tonight, like it could happen. You could meet somebody right now, right? And we kind of giggled and stuff. And she said, yeah, right. It was like kind of a little mind shift. And we went on with our walk and everything. And then I texted her that next Monday, because I think it was like a Thursday or Friday like that when we were having that walk. And then we text on Monday because I was going up to a yoga class, and I was like, hey, you want to come to yoga? You know what? I can't because I have a date. I have a date with the same guy that I went out with Saturday night. And guess what? I think he's the one. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I texted a little bit. I was like, well, I guess our prayer worked for you. And, thinking it was like a giggle. And she said, I hope so. And I thought, I hope so. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. We know that hope doesn't belong in faith, so as girlfriends, we kind of badger around as spiritual girlfriends, and kind of keep our minds straight in the faith living world. And I said, well, there is no faith, and there's no hope in faith, so what I know for sure is whether this guy is the one or not, he has to be the one because he's who you're calling in, and whether it be a blessing or you still need to grow or he is the one, we know that this is the soulmate. And I'll never forget when I had the epiphany around what a true soulmate was. So in the New Thought movement, we recognize that it's all a mental equivalent. Whoever we're calling into our life, whatever's going on with us financially, whatever's going on with us in all areas of our life, it comes down to the mental equivalent, meaning that whatever we believe and wherever we are in our consciousness, we're going to call in that equivalent. So, for example, if we need to, we still have a belief that love hurts or love abandons or we can't trust people, we will call in that soulmate, someone that is the mental equivalent, to fulfill upon that limited prophecy. And knowing that there's always a soulmate, and every single whoever you're with is your soulmate, whether you're dating, whether you are in a relationship, or whether you're married. And just because you're married does not mean that people are happy or fulfilled or it works, right? So we have to know that whoever you're with is your soulmate, period. Because it's exactly where you are on your track. It's exactly where you need to be in your healing and revealing of the truth for your own consciousness. And this is, for me, such a liberating thing, because now it's no longer about the destination of finding a soulmate and having the end of the movie where all the credits go up and as if it's come to a destination. I believe that you are here to grow. We're in the school of life, and every relationship is here to develop, to heal, to have us grow as individuals and as relationships and all the above. And it brings me to Joseph Campbell's famous talk on follow your bliss. But the funny thing that's interesting about that talk is most people didn't realize and have not remembered that that talk actually was not just follow your bliss. He talked about sacrifice and bliss is actually what the talk was. And meaning that the sacrifice is that we have to be willing to be reborn every moment to really truly follow our bliss. So as the opportunity persists in each relationship is the opportunity for us to basically come into a higher version of ourselves. That is basically a place for us to have to dig deep into our soul for growth and for basically realizing what we do and do not align with. And hopefully you can grow with somebody, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes that person just come into your life for a big wake-up call and a big lesson. And believe me, I have been there. I've been in a very dysfunctional relationship where I had fallen in love with an addict. And I really felt like he was the love of my life. And it was really humbling to realize that he was not. In fact, it was not a good place for me to be in my life, especially with him. And but I had to realize that he was my soulmate at that point in my life, because he brought in exactly the lesson that I needed, which was self-love, to really truly love myself and know that my own loving of myself has to be number one. And I love T.G. Jakes, I believe it is. He had a great talk on finding your soulmate, something like that. I think it was a different title, but he talks about how people who want to get married, basically, they got it all wrong. Like, until you are totally okay with being alone and totally living a full life as an individual, if you're thinking somebody's going to come in and complete you, it's like, whoa, that's serious consciousness that is not going to bring in the person. And we hear this over and over again, people who are seeking to get married, seeking partners, seeking whatever, and they finally go, screw it, I can't figure it out, I'm just going to enjoy my life. And as soon as they do that, they call in a great partner. And I love that, because when we don't have attachment to it, when we don't feel like something's missing in our life, then the universe is able to bring us more. And so I truly believe, even with my girlfriend, whether that date worked out or didn't work out, or whatever goes on with each individual, that person is the exact person that we need. That's the exact soulmate right now. Do I believe there's one soulmate or one twin flame? I do not, personally. I believe that there is someone perfect for everybody on this earth, and that that there's many people that could fulfill that, in that there's infinite possibility here. So I do believe that there's people lucky enough to stumble on, when they've done their work, come into self-love, that they could actually call in somebody that is an absolute direct, complete fit. So on that note, today's universal law that goes with this whole talk is, today we align with the law of reciprocity. And love really is a reciprocal medium of energy. So the universe is made up of a quantum field. Everything is connected. Every human being is connected. Every relation, it's all of relationships. Everything's connected. There is mutual dependence, action, and exchange between you and the universe. So you get what you give and you reap what you sow. So know, in your relationships, even if the person, you feel like this may not be the person forever, it's still a great opportunity to practice giving abundantly, loving abundantly, expressing abundantly. Because this is like, as Werner Erhard says, relationships it's like swimming. You can't sit on the sidelines in the deep end and pretend like you're practicing relationship. You got to get in the deep end and swim to learn how to be in a relationship. So it's a great opportunity if you have reactions, or you're controlling, or you tend to withdraw in relationships. It's a great opportunity to practice with somebody. Even if you feel like this may not be somebody that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, it's a great place to practice stepping into your own, the best version of yourself, basically. So I love that. And be that which you seek, and so embodying the law of attraction. If you seek an amazing soulmate, you better be an amazing soulmate, right? So in this note also, our daily spiritual practice, every day we wake up and get our minds straight through right thinking, through inspired talks, and then also through a daily spiritual practice. So today I invite you to practice seeing the person in your life as a perfect opportunity to become the person you've always wanted to be. Like I said, all relationships are the opportunity to discover deeper depths of your soul for growth and to know what you do and do not align with, okay? And so then today's challenge, because it's a fun game of life, is to follow your bliss and sacrifice. Sacrifice becoming the best version of yourself. And if that means you've got to die off that person that is controlling or trying to put it into certain compartments or trying to manipulate other people, whatever, like sacrifice that person. Bloom into something you've never been so that you can truly follow your bliss. Okay. So on that note, you guys, if you have enjoyed this talk, please comment, give me a great review on iTunes, iHeart, Google Play, wherever you're listening to this. You can also find a lot of videos on YouTube that I'm posting on there. I'd love for you to subscribe on there. Follow me on Instagram. It's Dr. Erin or drerin.tv. And you can find me at erinfalhaskell.com. You can reach out anytime and you can call me. Oh my gosh, I have a phone number so that you can actually call in your questions for the show. And I will be posting that on all of these comments below. Okay, you guys, so have a divine day and may you live your truth.